fix it in a minute. I'll click face of the sun here.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. On the book of face.
Book of face.
Yeah, I know where to go.
Tell you where to go.
Oh, you where to
go. Into the music.
How you doing?
To show lots of love for the community with great advice.
Oh, that's right. We're live. Are we live?
Are we live? Are we live? Hi, Bill. That? I think that's the point, Bill.
What do you say?
Let's talk
about it. Let's talk. You want to talk about it?
I'm going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it today.
I love me some Bill. Bill took some excellent videos.
Boy, didn't he?
Last weekend.
I lived through his video, man. Yeah. I did. I couldn't be there. I loved it.
Especially from Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, he did capture the moment Sunday. He did. Yeah. What's going on, Sean Cooper? The Coop. Yes, Bill. What's going on, everybody? You guys doing all right? Everybody out there all right?
Hi, Dave, Melody, Angela.
Everybody.
Edward.
Angela.
Toy. You did great on Sunday, Toy.
Toy rocks.
Party band. The real one party band.
How are you?
The only one party band.
Speaking of that, I've been blocked by those people we were mentioning. Isn't that special? Well, you know, they know who they are. They know who they are.
Apparently, I was blocked a long time ago because I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, well.
Hey, Megan, I got your message. I'm sorry. I'm really good at getting back to people.
You suck at getting back to people. I'm just going to say that out loud.
So bad at it. Because there's like 50 messages a day, and then I
get it, though.
Today I had to send out, no joke, today I sent out 4 text messages of my apologies because I never pressed send on the response. So I do respond, I just don't press send.
Oh, well. What are you eating today? Oh. I start out the show every week with, what the hell are you eating?
Okay, so as normal.
We should do a show on that.
I have butter toffee nuts in my mouth. With my jelly beans, the buttered popcorn jelly bellies.
Oh, the breakfast of champions.
Well, it's
or whatever it is. Well, who knows? Hi, Carla. Thanks for being here. Bob Klein in the house. It's good to see Bob.
Always. Unacceptable.
Yes, I did. Bill, I did see a picture of you in your hoodie. Thank you so much for representing All Around Town Radio at that event. Somebody had to because this loser wasn't there.
Did anybody, Bill, did we get some video of Dylan Moore?
7. Yes, he did, I believe.
He did?
Somebody did. I saw one. I can't remember if it was Bill's or not, but I did see one.
Of Dylan Moore? I'm going to.
I think so. Somebody had something out there online.
I feel like, I hope there's a.
Hi, Dylan. Hi, Tracy.
That's funny. Oh, Tracy, I saw her today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian. All right. Well, we've got viewer topics that have been written in this week. We have other topics. We have lots of things that we could talk about today. So how about you just lead in with one? Yeah, and you start, and if we get tired of that one, we'll go to the next one. How's that?
Right. Well, let's talk about, well, it's like kind of like a combination, but I mean, I'm noticing a lot of New Year's places charging a lot for tickets this year.
I saw that too.
Did you see that?
Crazy. Yeah. And I'm wondering why. Is it like you're getting this full buffet of like crab legs or something for New Year's? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, but like I feel like we did raise our prices, but like by $5. So instead of $5, what we usually charge on like a Friday or Saturday, it's $10. Which I was worried about, but everything's gone up. Everything has gone up. So it's not me just,
That's still cheap as hell.
I mean, for New Year's, I think it's still relatively cheap. You know what I mean?
It is.
I would never, so I did that, but I'm seeing people that are charging like 60, 70, 100, $150 for like New Year's tickets.
Right.
And they've got, and I know that everything's gone up, but that's a lot. And yeah, capacity limits. Yeah, but these are like their own venues that are, I don't know, man. Still at 100. Well, then Kareem, let's go off of that. Capacity limits, maybe trying to keep the venue busy, not so packed that the experience is bad. Okay. Well, then that leads me to this. 350, Carla, where?
Yeah, somebody tell me we're 350. I haven't seen that high.
350 in Cincinnati.
I did see a $200 one somewhere.
Where?
But it was, I mean, it did include a lot of things. I will say, I mean, you're getting dinner, you full bottle service, things like that. So,
that's different.
Yeah, that was something that included the whole package. And I don't know how you pull that off on New Year's Eve. I guess you could do that. I guess you could do bottle service if you have that ability, but
I guess so.
I don't know.
That's different. But and then if these places have live music, could you imagine? I mean, I'm not really like, I don't know, but could you imagine charging, let's say 100 or 100 and up for a ticket to see a live band, and that live band, and so they're advertising, you're paying $100 or $200 to see this live band because that's the entertainment, right? Because great, yeah, that's awesome that you're getting a dinner and you're getting drinks, but really you want the entertainment. They're selling you on the entertainment. So could you imagine if you're paying over $100 on a ticket for New Year's Eve for this band, and then like a day or two prior, because this year New Year's Eve lands on what, a Tuesday or a Monday?
Is it?
I think so. Could
Tuesday.
You imagine
it's
if
a Tuesday.
Same band was playing on Friday or Saturday for like $5 somewhere? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, why would somebody spend $100 and plus dollars to go see? It is to see the menus and yes, buffet and all the perks.
The hard part I have about that, and hats off to anybody who gets a cut of that, is in a band who can make money, do whatever. I mean, if that's your shtick, fine. But most of these bands that I see playing these places charging that amount of money, it has to be for the venue. They cannot think that you're going to pay a $150 ticket to see a band that you can go see for free at any other venue most of the days.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it's just silly.
And that's why I'm saying, because a lot of these, and I'm sure it is going to be worth it, Carla. I'm just saying that's a lot of money. Me personally, I would not spend that. But that's just me. I know that there is a large group of people that are really into like that whole package thing. And I get it. It makes sense. It's easy. It's all of that. And that's great. But I am noticing that a lot of these venues, and I'm not talking about this one, again, definitely not talking about this one, but some of these venues that have booked these bands, their ticket sales are suffering because of the fact that, I would imagine, the fact that these bands are playing 2-3 days prior for free or for $5.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And again, I think people have to focus on, Ceris, I just spent a lot more than that a day for an all-inclusive resort somewhere.
Right, obviously.
You were getting all your drinks, you were getting all your food all day. And if you go out to dinner, and you go out to dinner a lot, I know you do, with your friends and those kind of things. If you go to Jeff Ruby's or Carlo and Johnny's or whatever, you're going to drop a chunk of change that night.
Absolutely.
So if it's that kind of dinner and drinks and all those things, then yay, maybe you get a couple drink tickets and then it's a cash bar after that. Some people do that. I mean, I understand that fully. I get and everything has gone up. I mean, the price of food is unbelievable. I know that through your food truck. idea, but it's just it's really a weird thing when you're into music, and it's the band you're seeing on the bill for that is someone that you've seen dozens of times, and you can go see them, like you said, the week before. You can see them the week. Maybe it's just the experience of spending New Year's Eve with them. That could be it too. I don't know. It's a very interesting topic, and we've had several viewers talk about that to us as well.
Yeah,
about the prices.
Because look at Bob Klein. Bob Klein's saying there's an event in Columbus. We've played the past 2 years that is $250 per head, but there are 2 other bands, open bar, appetizers, full dinner, midnight meal, etc. Sold out, 550 people each year. If you build
worth
it, worth it, wonderful.
Worth it.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah, because I'm going to drop that on dinner and drinks. I am. If I go out, I'm going to drop that on New Year's Eve. If you can get a reservation anywhere, you're going to drop that for dinner and drinks. You are.
Yes, that is true. I guess I wasn't looking at it from that point of view. Maybe just because that's just not my thing. So that's probably why I wasn't really seeing it. But it is. But like I said, and like Bob's saying, it is a lot of people's things. I just know, and I'm so glad that that's sold out. I just know that there are some ones that I have seen that I've heard that their ticket sales aren't very good. And so then that leads me to believe, because what if it is a lot to do with the band? Let's just say, because I'm doing devil's advocate, because I don't know, because I don't have one of those venues, okay? That's just not my stick. So I'm not saying I know all of this. What if like, I feel like it's the venue, I would almost be like, okay, well, if you're doing this gig on New Year's, you need to sign this contract that says you're not going to play somewhere else the week before, the week of, maybe even the month, before. So that way you can generate a lot of those sales. That's a very slippery slope too. And I mean, right.
It happens all the time on nationals. I mean, nationals do the 90-mile rule and all that and those kind of things, when they're playing and that kind of thing where they don't play within 90 miles of the other venue or especially the same zip code. My goodness. I mean, that's the other thing when you're that close to home. But Kareem, I've been to those seats, or I've been to the Fox Sports Club or whatever it's called at the Reds game. And you drop some money. You do. You get to eat. And frankly, I mean, it's a nice place to sit and watch a game and do all that, and you get food and all those things. So
it's the experience, I guess, and I guess it all depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. And like Carla's saying, and Angela and Bob, it's got to be a great experience, or people wouldn't do it.
Well, it wouldn't be sold out. I mean, right. and Angela's got a great point. There's so many other perks that can be built in, parking, those kind of things. So. It depends on what you're getting. If they're charging $100 a ticket and it's just a band and you have cash bar and all that, that's no different than any other night that band plays. I hate to say that.
Right.
But it is. But if you're getting all the other perks, then like I said, you're going to drop a lot of money to go out on New Year's Eve for dinner. You are. Or anywhere nice. I mean, unless you slide through the $5 menu at McDonald's or something with your date. But
yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
You would on New Year's. You'd be eating a cheeseburger.
$300. I would.
But you do. You go out a lot. I see you out with your friends, and not a lot, but you guys
I don't go out as much as I think. I think you think I do.
Well, maybe I just see pictures. I don't know, but those places aren't cheap. Any of those that you go to, and they're not cheap. So you're going to spend some money there for sure on dinner and drinks and all those things. But like Bob said, my God, that's a hell of a deal there. If you look for it for $250 a head, and you get dinner, you get appetizers, you get full dinner, midnight meal. That makes good sense to me. That's probably a decent value. Couple bands playing, it's probably a lot of fun. 550 people, together on New Year's Eve. It's probably a great party.
That's with a couple of bands and an open bar with all different kinds of liquor, not just, and dinner and snacks. Yes, that sounds like a great event.
And Bob says that's a very specialized event, 75 for your average venue without the perks is crazy. It is. I mean, without anything, you couldn't. First of all, I don't drink champagne, so the champagne toast at midnight means nothing to me. At that, give me a glass of Jameson maybe at midnight, and I'll be happy. But that's a lot of those places. It's your ticket gets you in, you get to see the band, you get a champagne toast at midnight. We'll give you a little hat to wear on your table. At midnight,
I mean, I guess I'm just different. And again, this is not an attack or what's better or what's wrong. I don't want, and that's my disclaimer. This is not. But
oh my God,
I don't really drink, but like, we do $10 band, free appetizers and snacks, free champagne at midnight. This it's simple. Less is more, and
Well, let's ask our viewers. Kareem is a funny
the packages, and I think that's great because that means that I'm completely off base.
Well, our viewers, tell us what you think. Would you pay $150, $200 to get dinner, drinks, open bar, all that, and a couple bands or whatever? Would you pay that on New Year's Eve and spend it with some people? Go ahead. You're going to add to that?
Well, because my point was, would you pay that if 2 days prior, a week prior, you got to see that exact same band for free? Like, would you pay that knowing that, like I'm talking more about the band. Like if you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be the devil's advocate too. And I'm going to say,
bands usually do ask for a lot more money on New Year's Eve. So yes, for Bob Klein, for Ceris, are bands asking for more money? Yes.
Absolutely. A big night. Yeah, it's a big night. It's like, the night before Thanksgiving, Halloween, some of those, the bands will up their prices. But here's my devil's advocate thing. If you are a faithful follower of our band, and we've got one up here, Angela knows, Britches Down, they've got a huge following. They went to Laurie's Roadhouse and played for the first time the other night and took 2 full buses of people down that they put together with like a bus tour thing. So they've got a great following. That would be one. There's followings in Cincinnati that people go to. So maybe if you love that band and you say, I want to spend New Year's Eve with them. I think that may have something to do with it as well. What's Jennifer saying?
Look, a lot of people are agreeing that they would.
Yeah. And some people go see them every time they play. I know people that do that.
That's true. And you know what? That's very true. I wouldn't spend $150 every time they played though. But New Year's Eve is a really special event. And I guess it is being sold as the package. So you know what?
I'm looking at the answers here. There's some good answers. Quality of the food and the alcohol. Wouldn't pay hundreds to go out to a venue for New Year's Eve, but I'm kind of cheap, Chris says. Okay. Kara says she would pay it.
That's good. Obviously, because they do it every year, these places. But I personally think if a band is, I think going off of what Bob Klein's thing, this is again, because my comment is more about the bands. If a band's going to ask for more money, and if the band's going to ask for more money, and that's their contingency, well, then I think the venue has a right to ask that you not play for the next a few weeks prior, because the band, in my opinion, because that's kind of like a selling, the band is part of the package. So, I don't know. I'm just I don't know. I don't have a place like that. So
I'd love to hear from some musicians' views on that because,
I'm not saying it's right.
I'm just saying I'd love to hear their views because it's interesting. Some people look at you and say, I'm going to take every gig I can get because that's what we do for a living or whatever. And other people are going to say, yeah, I can respect that because, we want it to be the biggest event of the year or whatever. It's like every time Earth, Wind and Fire comes down, I'm going to buy tickets to go see them. And I don't really care a whole lot about the price. Right. But they also aren't playing for free down the road or $5 or $10 down the road. I got to go see that band because I don't get to see them very often. The people who follow these bands, though, are faithful followers. They are. Totally faithful followers. What's Kareem saying here? Kareem says he feels it's fair.
They have hotel rooms right up the road from the bar because I booked one because it was part of Lisa's prize from Women Helping Women for $100 for a king suite. I thought that was super cheap.
Wow, it is super cheap
for New Year's Eve. Yeah. So that's the thing. New Year's Eve is not cheap. And I'm just thinking, and I'm one of those people, you got to get that new dress, the whole new look. And I'm not cheap by any means. I'm a very generous person, but I'm also thinking to myself, that's going to be like a $500-$600 night.
Read Scotty Bratcher's comment. That's a great one.
Well, and I love Scotty for that because he gets it. I'll tell you what, everybody. After this past Sunday, he blew me away with his hosting skills.
He's a talent.
Man, he was funny. I'm never letting that man out of my sight. He's doing like all my music competition things. He's the host. He can't get rid of me now. That's for sure.
Sorry, Scotty. You've been locked into Ceris's web. The web. Yes.
Evelyn, I'll book you one. I'll book you the hotel room.
What do we got here? Bob says market by market thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
It does help, Ray. And thank you for doing that. And I'm going to tell you why. Too many bands are oversaturating themselves, and I am left to cut certain bands out because these bands are really cut down their dates because these bands are playing my place on Saturday night and another place 10 miles down the road on Friday night. It's the exact same freaking set list. It's exactly the same or every single weekend. And it's just not fair. It's really, and I get it. It's their business. And I think that's awesome. And so that's why I don't say, hey, if you're going to play my venue, you can't play this venue at this. I would never do that to a band. That's not my style. I just take it in matters of my own hand and say, okay, this band usually books, has always booked the same area or is consistently booking every single weekend. And I'm losing a lot of business because, so I'm just going to take it upon myself now to cut their gigs down. I'm not going to ask them to change the way they do business. They're not going to ask me to change. You know what I mean? It's happening. It's happening a lot.
A lot of oversaturation in the
business. Oversaturation. A lot.
And, if you're going to play that often, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say what I would like to see as a consumer of music is you change your set list once in a while. Play some other tunes, switch it up a little bit. Don't show me the same show every night I go see you. Because I've gotten to the point with some bands where I can tell you what the next song is, and that's bad.
It was we had an incident. I'm not going to say when, but we had a band that came in just recently, and they started off with a new song, and then somebody was telling me that's close with the band said that somebody in that band, the band itself had a whole half a dozen to a dozen new songs that they wanted to add. And everybody was supposed to learn it. And that one musician in the band came to the show and they were getting ready to play all these songs. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't bother learning it. And I'm like, and everybody was just like, there's always one bad apple that seems to, they just don't care.
Ed's got a good perspective here. I mean, he says it's about the event.
And that's what I'm asking, although if I don't know, I think some places, yeah.
I mean, years ago when I was in a band, I can tell you for the New Year's Eves that we did several years straight, the same people came every New Year's, the same party. It was, I mean, they really wanted,
anything, Jim.
they really wanted to do that. And
she's lovely.
What's Jim saying?
Something complete that has nothing to. Yes, she's amazing. She is, and I love her for that. But that has nothing to do with
what pops into Jim McCarthy's head.
I don't know, but honestly,
yes.
I'm just like, what are you talking about right now? I love the guy, but
I wish I had a button that said "Great question, Jim."
Great question, Scott.
Thank you. We need that. Great question, Jim. No, I don't know either. either what that has to do with the price of
Yes,
eggs in China
I
today.
agree. To me, for me, Evelyn, that's where I'm at. I don't care where I am. I could be in the McDonald's drive-through. I could be in a hole in the wall bar. I could be at home. It doesn't matter as long as I'm with the people that I like.
I agree. And Bill, that's a whole nother show. I'd like to have a show about that because I've heard that from so many people saying that we have a lack of venues, and I find it interesting.
We do. We have a huge lack of venues.
In the Dayton market, I will tell you, there used to be a newspaper thing that came out every week. It was called, God, I can't even remember the name of it now, but it featured every venue. There's music tonight, it said, and it featured every venue and who was playing there for the weekends. And they took out little square ads on this whole page that said that. And somebody posted a few of them from the 80s way back when, and the amount of venues and players and bands was quadruple what we have now. I mean, it was really crazy. And that was right before people really cracked down about driving after you drink and things like that. I mean, it got, some of that had something to do with it, but man, there was a lot of venues and bands that were playing residencies 5 nights a week in these venues. Like they were the house band.
Right.
And weird stuff. Now, not so much.
No, we need new venues. And you know what? I know of it's sad. There's some downtown that are like closing up. There's one that's downtown that had a really great stage, but they didn't know how to use it. And that also is an issue, is people either don't know how to run a stage or use the stage, or they don't care.
I think B is the thing. Most of them don't care. Right. I hate to say that, but Ed, thank you for that comment. I agree. And when I say oversaturation, what I see is the smart bands are doing, they're broadening out their areas of play. They're not playing at those same 5 bars all the time. They're moving to other venues and things, which is a smart idea. However, it can be very difficult for a good band who goes 90 miles from home or even 30 miles from home to Cincinnati from Dayton, or Dayton to Cincinnati. There's been some great Cincinnati bands come up our way up here, and there's nobody there because nobody knows them.
Right.
That's the hard part.
Ray, that's owned by 4EG because they were calling me about what bands to book and stuff. But the Drinkery used to have live music too. But I'm curious to see how they're going to do with the cover bands, because Otia and downtown is not a cover band kind of area. So I'm very curious to see how that will do.
Mm-hmm. And there's Mr. Shane DeMoss. Yeah, and there it is. And Shane, you were one of the ones I'm talking about, made the conscious decision to broaden your horizons and get out away from those same venues all the time, because Shane's a good player and his band was very good. And everybody's like, oh, we'll book you once a month. And he even probably was tired of playing the same venues. No offense to the venues, but my God, I can tell you when I was in this house band years ago for 5 nights a week, it was the same face looking at you 5 nights in a row out there in the audience, almost in the same seat. And it's like, this gets so monotonous. And it was great. You had followers, but followers start to think they own the band, and then pretty soon they're asking for perks in the bar because they're with the band. Yeah, it's a whole nother animal. That's another day.
A little extra picky on like what bands I choose nowadays, because it's everything costs more, and this wasn't
that was Dayton Daily News. Actually, it was called "There's Music Tonight." I just remembered it in my head. That's what it was called. But you could go to the paper and open it up and see every venue and who was playing there. It was kind of cool.
But I'm like, I'm a little more picky now of who I book, because I have to book bands that I know do the work, that I know are going to promote, that are going to do these things, because it's becoming harder and harder to just leave it just up to me because there's just not that many people wanting to. There's just because of the oversaturation of the bands. And a lot of people, I mean, I've been reading up on it because I've noticed a difference. Not as many people are drinking or not, as people are going out. I'm just more picky. And unfortunately, I've run into a lot of the new bands that have all said, oh, well, we don't have a Facebook page, or they've been difficult to work with, and I'm just not giving second chances because it's expensive. It's getting really expensive to run this business. And when I look at your schedule and it's all like you're only looking, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business, but I am going to run my business the way that I want to. So when I see that you're playing Loveland on Friday, Montgomery on Saturday, you know what I mean? Like that's just too close. It's just too close. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it anymore.
And honestly, if the bands were smart, they'd realize that too, because you're probably not going to get your focused crowd that comes to see you to come to two places Friday and Saturday.
I think more so care about getting paid.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a business. Right. It is, but.
And that's fine. And that's why
Bill said it. Bill said it's bad on the return on investment live music is, and it is. I mean, because a lot of times you can have those nights that are failures. I mean, you do. You have those nights that you don't make enough money to pay the band, and you got to rob from another night, and it's not good either. What do we got here?
Yeah, I saw that toy. That was interesting. I would never do that, but that's just me. Like that doesn't mean anything. As they have, I mean, they must have a very, they're just, that's awesome. That would worry me just as a business owner, but I mean, if they can do it, that's great.
And Dewey, I will tell you, and there's so many good bands in Cincinnati, and I know a lot of them. And I will tell you, no matter how good they are, if they go to Columbus, their first night's not going to be a success. It's not. It's just, I mean, unless somebody knows a bunch of people up there, people are not going to come where they don't know the band name. They're just not. It doesn't happen very often.
It's super hard to break into a new city. And that's what I'm saying. I'm becoming even pickier because I really want to give more bands from Columbus and Nashville and Louisville and all these like a chance, but it costs me money to do that. Because without the following, I'm not getting the return. Now, and I have a very loyal customer base, like regulars. But what's happening is, and it goes back to the oversaturation, is now those bands that sort of you didn't see out often that kind of started playing off the bell are now playing all around the area. And my regulars or these wonderful people that go see this music, I get caught booking a band from Columbus when one of their favorite local bands is just playing right down the road from the Bell and the Bear. I'm going to lose all those people, like because of the oversaturation, because of the lack of, whatever it is. Ceris, you're very smart to perform Richard Moxtail and GTS. Yeah.
You almost have to do that today, don't you? I mean, you really do.
And that was the thing. It was like, I was noticing, I mean, a lot of my friends I don't drink really, and I was like, well, I need to make sure people know that they have options, for their sake, for my sake, for everybody. I mean, it's becoming a thing.
And one other thing that got sent in the other day to the show here while I was out of town is it kind of tags into this. What about our favorite bands changing up their lineup like weekly? And I see this like we got to have a new bass player every week because our bass player's on a break and those kind of things. And somebody said it makes them not want to go see them. And I thought it's not really giving the player that's filling in a good break. I mean, I saw, Jonathan Grooms playing with the band, and those kind of things. And he did a great job. And you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's like me doing trivia at another location. People don't like you because you're new or different. And, that came in along with this. And I thought they said, oh, they oversaturated. And then the guy quit playing with them. Well, maybe you are playing too much for his, lifestyle. Maybe he wants to spend time with his family or something.
Right.
Like Shane said in there, I don't know if you saw his comment. He said, I'm not playing during the week anymore. Good for you.
Yeah. good. Yeah,
You
there. I
know?
mean, even I mean, there's a lot when there's a really high turnover, or when somebody leaves a band or something like that. I always lean on the side of caution and just not deal with it. To be completely honest with you, and yeah, it is possible, Bob. It's totally possible. I have like I think 5 or 6 out of state bands that are playing next year. Some of them played this year, you know, different around that. I'm really trying to build a crowd here because I really like them, and the ones that did see them really like them, and I'm always trying to broaden the horizon, but it doesn't always work. And that's where it costs a lot of money, and that's where a lot of venue owners, especially right now with the way things are, you lean on the side of caution.
And Karis, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question as an owner. If you book said band into your venue and said band shows up that night without telling you they have 3 replacement players because somebody was out of town, somebody's sick, somebody's this, does that offend you? I mean, without you knowing ahead of time, or do you just take it as it comes and say, well, I got to deal with it tonight?
I would much rather, it would offend me that I wasn't told. It would really piss me off if it was the lead singer.
Yeah, I've seen that too. You're right.
That happened to me. Was it 2 years ago? I won't say the band's name, but you know, I booked them as a 4-piece with this specific lead singer. It was the lead singer that made the band. It just was. He was, you know, he was the star of the show. He also was the one that brought most of the people. But they showed up at my venue down a player, and it was the lead singer, down the lead singer. And I was like, hey, where did he go? He's like, oh, he's no longer in the band.
Oopsie. Yeah.
I said, excuse me, you didn't think you should have told me that he was? Did you not tell any? Oh, well, we made a post. That's not okay. That's not okay. And I took away all of their rest of their gigs for the year because A, it wasn't the same show. Their show went from like this to this, and nobody was coming. And it was sad. And I was like, guys, this is not how you conduct business. And no.
Okay. Thank you for that, Bill. He said, thanks for giving Devin Milton and company the chance to play the other night at the Thursday Jam. But Shane's got a good one here. He says, reverse the roles of the venue and help provide what they originally said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a two-way street. How many times have we said that too on the show?
Oh, it's 100% a two-way street. 1,000%. You know how many stories I've heard of bands playing, and they were okay. And I'm just using this number. Okay, the band was told that they're going to get paid $1,000, and then at the end of the night, they're like, "Well, we only have 500." No. And that's why I think some bands should really consider doing contracts, especially if you're going to deal with shady venues like that and shady venue owners.
I left working at a venue because of that, because I was the one they wanted to send out to tell the band, oh, well, tonight we didn't do as well, so you're only going to get half of your pay. No.
That is why I deal with all of the freaking bands. That is why, like I will, no. That is so, who was I talking to? Oh, no, I'm not even, because.
That's a whole nother show.
No. Yeah. And I've heard that story way too many times.
Yes.
But then I hear these stories of how these bands, and again, this goes back to what Bill was saying, and what a lot of us are saying is that there's a real lack of venues. But a lot of bands are just dealing with a lot of these venues. I don't know if it's because it's somewhat of a paycheck or because there is a lack of venue. Or I know a very popular bar that pays their bands shit, but people still constantly play there. They don't just pay their band shit, but they treat their employees like shit. They do everything like shit.
Spot on, Bill. Yes. And Bill and I are familiar. Yeah, it's sad that this goes on. And I mean, we go on and on about this topic because from oversaturation to the playing 3 nights in a row within 5 miles of each other. I mean, there's just so much. And then you get the venues, like you say, the venues who are just being crappy to the bands.
Super crappy.
And saying, if you want to play here, you have a budget. I mean, you say it's out of my budget. I can't have you play here. It's that simple, but not to come in and play car dealer games with them and say, well, I'll start at 400 and we'll go to 5 and we'll get, that goes on. And who wants to play that game back and forth and messaging and all that crap? Nobody does. Just tell me what you're going to pay us. I'll see if we can meet in the middle, do whatever we want to do. We're done.
Yeah. I know what I can afford. And that's why, that was part of the reason why I started charging covers, because there's a lot of bands that, some bands charge more, some, whatever it is. I was like, well, all the money is going to go to the band anyways. And this is the only way I'm going to be able to have these bands, some of these bands. I don't think it'll be hard for you to figure that out.
Bill, you're spot on that one too. And that's the other thing, keeping your staff happy when you're bouncing checks to them and doing all kinds of things. It doesn't work. And you can call yourself a big venue and you can play like you're a big venue and you can play like you're a music mecca and all that stuff. But if you don't put your money where your mouth is and you don't live up to your contract with the band, whether it's a verbal one, a handshake, whatever it is, you got to do it. You can't say, oh, well, tonight you didn't bring us 500 people, so we're going to shortchange you. No, this is what we agreed upon. The guy delivering your UPS package or whatever, it doesn't worry about that, or the guy delivering your pizza, when you hand him the money, he wants the money when he delivers it to the door. That's how it works. Not, I don't, this pizza looks like it might be a little undercooked, so I'm not going to pay you tonight. That doesn't happen, No. And you deal with good bands. You do. You deal, for the most part, you have very few problems with bands.
Well,
at your place.
First impressions is really important to me. So if I get a bad vibe, or if I get somebody who kind of, I don't not book a band. Like when I'm dealing with bands and I was like, I can't afford that. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to get a deal out of them. I'm telling them I can't afford that. So this might not be the right stage. This might not be a right team, because I can't afford that. And this is your price, because I'm never going to try to undercut somebody. And I can always tell when this person is somebody I don't want to work with. They're like, well, what do you want to pay? This isn't me trying to get you at a discount. This is me telling you I can't afford you. Move on to somebody else then. Don't get angry at me because it's not in my budget. People don't understand. My bar holds 160 people.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
I am one of the cheapest bars around when it comes to drinks. There is only so much I can quite literally afford. I'm not a 500-person venue.
No, I mean, and hats off to the ones that are, but you're not the Blue Note. You can't put 500 people there.
I'm 160 people.
Right.
Me saying I can't afford you isn't me saying I don't want you. Give me at a discount. It's me saying I can't afford you. There's no hidden message. It's me.
Isn't it funny though how people take that the wrong way so often?
Perception is the killer of most things.
Yes.
Expectations, perceptions. That's on you, not on me.
With that said, what's going on at your place tonight?
Oh, so Bill Marks, finally, we are starting our trivia. We did it last week. It was the start, but we're doing elf trivia tonight.
Elf.
So we're doing like some Christmas special trivias, and I really, 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 really hope, because we've tried everything on Tuesdays, but I'm really confident. I hope it does well. Elf trivia this week, and then we've got Christmas story trivia next week, and I think it's I really do. I hope it works. It's going to be fun for everybody. It'll be good. And then on Wednesday, Mr. Scott Hall comes down for the Hall Around Town Radio, his music trivia, right?
Amen.
Amen. And there's only 4 of those, and it's the second Wednesday of every month, but only for 4 months. So let's make them big ones. We do have you can make your reservations. The big table's already reserved. And then on Thursday, we jam. On Friday, we have the Kevin McCoy Band. On Saturday, we have Under the Sun. And then on Sunday, we do our Pause for a Cause for staff. The event we picked up at very short notice.
And I'll be there again.
Yes, which the Peters are matching dollar for dollar again, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Yeah. Who's coming on with us tomorrow?
So it's going to be Dudley and Michelle Taft and Kevin from staff, and we're all going to talk about it.
All right. So we'll be live from the bell.
Yeah.
Live from the bell at 6:00 tomorrow. So join us for that. And yes, thank you, Dewey, for that. And I'd love to see a packed house on Wednesday night. We'd love to have that happen. It's hard sometimes for the folks who come and play my game up here all summer long, which is a great crowd, to make that distance of a drive. But come on down, enjoy your night and have some fun with us. And Bill wants to know if his dog can come on Sunday.
Yes, I just always recommend on busy nights that you stay more so to like the entrance, because a lot of people, because the dogs get kicked or people trip on it. So I'm always cautious about that. But yeah, I mean, we're dog friendly. Dudley, Michelle, I talk to them every day. They're in. Good
deal. And I'm looking forward to that too, Ceris. So I will see you tomorrow. I'll be there early to get set up, and we'll get things rolling at 6:00 and then 7:00 for Name That Tune tomorrow night. You've got a great lineup. Kevin McCoy will kill it on Friday night, and certainly the jam on Thursday will be a big one. And Under the Sun, man, I've yet to see, but I'd love to see him sometime soon. I hear lots of good things.
Make that happen.
I know I do. I know. What's Kara? Yeah, I know. That's sad. Sad. I hate to see that. Well, thank you guys for being here. We've run pretty long today, but thank you for hanging in there with us. We love your input and all that. Next week, we'll be back with another topic and another fun slice of joy and judgment here on what is this? Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? I still have lost track about it. And we had a great show yesterday. And while I've got you on here for the last minute, let me say this, Ceris. Your guitar shredder competition, the shred off, genius, by the way. Excellent. I enjoyed the videos. I wasn't able to be there, but I got to live through Bill's videos and a few other people. And what a great bunch of talent you put together, not only on the stage, but the judges. So really cool stuff. Are you with me?
Yep.
Oh, I thought I froze.
No.
Yeah. So thank you for doing that.
Yes. Well, it was one of my most favorite moments.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Well, it was a smashing success.
Yes. And
thank you, Shane DeMoss. Appreciate you for being here. And Jim McCarthy, thank you for that and your Taylor Swift comment. And we are getting out of here today. I gotta go. It's time. Are we ready to go? Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Bye to everybody, will you? Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Steve. I made up words.
Bye, Melody.
Bye.